Thank you. Thank you for all you're doing, group leaders, group coaches. I'm so thankful for each and every single one of you. You guys are making a difference. You are investing in the gospel here at Liberty. And I'm just here to tell you, because of people like you, I'm hearing some amazing stories. A story like this. There was a sweet lady in her 70s. She'd been attending Liberty for a couple years, but she'd never joined a group because her husband, honestly, he's been in poor health. Well, she was reaching out to one of our staff members, and at the same time, one of our pastors was helping a women's group just to get set up and to start meeting online. And there was a connection. A connection was made between the lady needing to find community and the women's group going online. And I'm just telling you, the lady who had felt incredibly isolated has now found community. It's community that she desperately needed. And this sweet lady, she wanted to be a blessing. She's now written over 100 note cards to first responders for our church, and we have been giving them out with gift baskets. Listen, this is just one simple story. And I've heard so many more of God using your groups to minister to individual people, and then those people ministering to others. And so from the bottom of my heart, can I again just say thank you. You are finding innovative ways to help people to find community in this season. We as a church, we are continuing to gather together and to grow together. And together we are seeing God change lives, communities, and the world for Jesus Christ. And I'm just so thankful just to encourage you and just say, keep going. I'm so proud of you. You know, in January, we shared a God-sized vision for the future of groups at Liberty. And we believe the season has served to affirm to us that we're going in the right direction. And we want to continue to share that vision with you so you can be aware of it, so you can own it. And I want you to know how you can move forward and embrace it starting this September. Listen, one of those things is group semesters. Group semesters are meant to be a blessing, not a burden. A blessing for you, a blessing for our people. They are meant to be a blessing for the people who sit at our campuses in rows but who haven't yet found community. They are meant to be a blessing for the people who sit at home and they watch Liberty Live online. They're meant to be a blessing for the people who have not found community yet, but they so desperately, desperately need it. And maybe it's because they're a little intimidated. Maybe they're wondering, how do I jump into this thing called group life? How do I jump into it? Listen, we want to make a clear pathway for people to find community. And so this is also a great thing for you. It's great for you to be able to reach out to your neighbors, to reach out to people that you work with, to invite them into community. And so what I want you to hear is this. We want to release you to be innovative and to be creative so that you can be involved in launching people out to start new communities, and so you can help find people joining into your community as well. Listen, I truly believe with all my heart in the next decade that we will see more people come to know Christ through groups than through our worship experiences. Listen, that's not to say that people won't come to know Christ in our worship experiences. God has been, I believe God will, and God will continue to move in powerful ways. But I just know that as our culture continues to change, that more people will belong and be a part of community before they believe in the Christ of that community. People like Carl. Carl lived near our Harborview campus, and one of his neighbors was starting a group. And so that neighbor knocked on his door and said, "Hey, we're starting a new group. We would love to have you join us at our home." To that group leader's surprise, Carl and his wife actually showed up to their home. Listen, Carl belonged before he believed. And I'm here to tell you today that Carl made a decision for Christ. He's now moved outside of that neighborhood, but he continues to be a member at Liberty and involved in groups at our York River campus. I'm telling you, it's going to be exciting to see God continue to lead us. And so I need you to think. I need you to think about what group semesters will look like. They're going to be 3 months long. So over the course of the calendar year, a group semester will be about 13 weeks. And I want to share with you, we will have definitive start times and definitive end times, and we want to align them with the calendar month. And so this year, we're going to take the month of August off of groups. It'll be a season of rest, and it'll be a season of preparation. Our first group semester then will be September, October, and November. That's 13 weeks. You hit it hard. You go all in. We're going to be promoting. We're going to be encouraging people to find community, and we'll be launching new groups creatively, including launching groups online, all right? But then we're going to take the month of December off. Some of you are already aware. We already take the last 2 weeks off of December because typically there's a lot going on. It's a busy season right around Christmas and right around New Year's. So we're going to take December to rest and to prepare. And then what's going to happen? You say, what happens next? Listen, we're going to come back and we're going to go hard after it again. We're going to come out of the gate flying. January, February, and March, we will have a group semester. That'll be 13 weeks. And then as we head into April, we have spring break. We have Easter. It's a perfect time to recharge. It's a natural rhythm. And so that's what we will do. We will then prepare, and we will prepare to launch to have an awesome May, June, July. And again, we'll take a season of rest in the month of August. Listen, I recently read a poem, and it talked about what makes a fire burn. In the poem, it talked about how if you put too many logs on a fire, you can snuff the fire out. It went on to say it's the space between the logs that makes the fire burn. Listen, I am certainly not a master at building campfires, but for someone who is a master at keeping a campfire going, they realize that they have to lay a log on at the right time, in the right way, to keep the fire burning. Listen, we want to give you space and we want to give you seasons of rest so the fire can keep on burning. Now, I know what some of you are thinking right now. You're thinking, how legalistic are we going to be about this? I genuinely want you to hear my heart on this. I want you to know that our heartbeat is not just for the people who have found community, who are already in groups, but it's also for the people who are not in groups yet. And so we want to reach them. Genuinely, listen, from the bottom of my heart, if your group curriculum is 14 weeks long and you need a 14th week, that's okay. I'm not going to sweat it, and you shouldn't sweat it either. If for whatever reason you really want your group who hasn't missed a week in 5 years or 10 years or maybe 20 years, you haven't missed a single week, listen, I'm not here to be a Debbie Downer. I'm here to say I want to empower you. You go ahead, you plan your calendar wisely. Just know that as a church-wide emphasis, we are having definitive start dates and we're having definitive end dates. Why again? So we can help people find community. The desire is not to be legalistic. It is meant to help people find community so that we can push and promote groups and we can have a season of real emphasis to join a group. That's what we want. That's what we want for these people. This is what we want for you. Some of you are wondering, well, can someone join my group like 3 weeks in or 4 weeks in, or do they have to be there on week 1? Liberty is a church. What do? We do whatever it takes to bring our friends to Jesus. I don't care if it's week 1, I don't care if it's week 3, week 6, or week 13. You feel the freedom to always be inviting people, to always be inviting friends. Listen, I want you to feel the freedom to plan fellowships. I want you to feel the freedom to plan projects so that you can show the love of Christ to our community. Hear it. You're empowered. You're empowered to be intentional. You're empowered to be missional as a group all year long. And so I want to encourage you, please take those 13 weeks. Take that group semester. Be strategic with a plan. Plan it out. Plan what you're going to be studying. Plan fellowships. Plan socials. Plan projects. But then take a breather. Take a rest. It's okay. You see, the key to our groups is ESPN. E stands for encourage. Your group needs to encourage one another. S, it stands for Scripture. You need to spend time in Scripture together. P stands for prayer. You need to spend time in prayer together. And N stands for next steps. You need to encourage people to take their next steps. So don't focus on if your group is 2 hours or if it's 15 minutes. That's secondary. We want you to focus on ESPN. We don't want you to worry about location, all right? We want you to be focused on helping people. Yes, that means I'm excited to see more groups continuing to meet online. I'm excited to hear about groups meeting at Cracker Barrel or at coffee shops. I'm excited for groups to meet in workplaces and in businesses. Before our current crisis, I was hearing about groups popping up in schools. I was hearing about some teachers stepping up in their school, starting groups with their close friends, other teachers, other faculty and staff. Listen, we want to help people find community so that they can gather together and grow together, so that they can take their next step or maybe even take their first step to follow Christ. We want people like Ross to find community. Listen, Ross didn't grow up in a church, and he casually decided to visit because he was curious about church. And on his first Sunday, a group leader invited Ross to his Tuesday night group. Ross came, Ross found community, but more importantly, Ross now knows God. I want more of those stories. That's what we want for people. Listen, God is going to use you, and He already is using you to influence people for the gospel. And so the point of a semester-based group, that model, the point is to expand the definition of what a group is and how it functions. And so we want to give you guidelines so that you can launch out more people as well to start new groups for the cause of Christ, so that you can see more people as well come to find community in your group so that they can experience ESPN. Listen, thank you. Thank you for all that you're doing. Listen, you are continuing just to do amazing things for the gospel, and we're going to continue to give you more information about how people can sign up and join groups. But God is going to use you. I'm so thankful for you, and I'm so proud of you. God bless you. Keep going.